Hi guys, welcome to another video on swordsmanship, and we're here at the Richmond Dojo thanks to Bob Aldis from the Bushido Dojo in Richmond, and that's Nick in the middle, and we're going to be showing you some stuff. So what we're going to be doing is working from Esshin Ryu, and we're going to be looking at the oral traditions written down in this book. So we are looking from this source and interpreting it. We're going to be looking at Tsukikage, and we're going to look at these interpretations done by Jeff and Nick. So the first one is basically talking about how to cut through the enemy's hands and how to do it by just leaving your sword there. So here's the first one. There's Nick, and basically somebody's going to draw and cut above the head, and the idea is that you just hold the sword there. Don't try to cut through their arms, just literally hold it in place and let them cut down onto your arm, onto your sword. And here we have Jeff giving it a go. So basically I've slowed this down so we can just have a proper look. Now again, thanks to Jeff for helping out. Anybody is welcome to film and join us. We have Jeremiah this month, but he hasn't quite got the filming in time. So here we go. Okay, the opponent is going to go to cut. Okay, so they're going to cut for a forehead strike, and the idea is that you're going to be cutting and just leaving your sword in place so that they slide their arms down your blade edge. Now it's quite easy, to be honest, so let's go on to number 2. And basically this is to use the handle of the sword to push the other person's blade out of the way and to try and open them up. So let's have a look at how this has been done. Okay, so I've slowed this right down. So the idea is you use the tsuka, which is the handle, to deflect the blade and push it over by opening up your hips. Okay, and this letting it obviously go past. So we'll go back to the text in a minute, but just so you can see it and have a know what we are doing. So she's going to come down for a strike, and Nick is going to pull it to the side with his guard, and that is the way in which he's deflected it. So let's go again. Push the opponent's sword aside with your guard or his hands with your right hand by fully pulling back with the left hip. At the same time, cut with the kisaki at his right temple. Now, I'm not sure about the or his hands with your right hand. Okay guys, we're going to go to Jeff, but just so you guys know, there are different versions and interpretations of this, and one of my points is I'm trying to point out that the branches of schools have different ways of doing it, so we're focusing on the written traditions of one branch. Okay, it's not to say one is wrong or one is right. The point is that there are different versions of it. So we're just looking at the oral tradition as it is spoken, but we don't have a date for that oral tradition fully yet. We need to properly investigate that. So the hilt is used to push to the side, and then we use your right hand to push away and cut, which is quite nice, that, isn't it? Here's an alternative. So about the right hand, it's questionable because remember it's in English and it's translated, which is quite annoying because that's not a problem, it's just difficult because then you don't really have it. It'd be nice to sit down with the original master and say, hey, what did you mean by this? But here's the alternative version to the right hand push, or at least adding the right hand push into it. So again, the sword is going to come down, and the right hand push on that hand that way, push it away, and then draw and cut. Any thoughts, guys? Do you think they're connected or do you think they're separate? And with the third one, guys, I'm going to leave it to you because I'm a bit struggling on this. I've just got back from holiday, so I haven't had time to literally get this video up so you can see it. So we might do a single video on this later, but get some ideas about what you think this means here. So there you go, guys. This is us trying to interpret and show. Remember, the point I'm trying to make is that there are many ways you can interpret these things. There are many ways in which you can read into it. Of course, you've got the original language to discuss, which you need a translator for, which we can get, but we don't have this in its original form. Annoyingly, we only have the English version, so it's an out of print book, so we could possibly get it in there. but also there are many different ways that people from different lines have been doing this. So sometimes I like to go back to the original writing and say, hey, what did they say you should do? Because when you go back to the original writing, often it's very much different. So this is why we're doing this. So it doesn't mean these are perfect techniques, exactly how it's done. It's just the cases that show you the different things that can happen within swordsmanship. So thanks again to Nick, thanks again to Jeff for organising this, and to the Bob Aldis at the Richmond Bushido Dojo. So do go and have a look at those.